Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So I had a question on the channel recently about the solo mode that I use for Exceed. And if you don't know, Exceed is a fighting game by Level99 Games. They actually have 6 seasons so far. The latest season was Guilty Gear. As you can see here, I have Baiken. She is definitely one of the strongest characters that I've played with so far. She's won a lot of matches against other characters. And for this game, I'm going to be pitting her against this custom deck that I built with Inuyasha as the lead character. So when you pull them out of their containers, right, Inuyasha has a special move here, the Meido Zangetsuha. It is a really powerful card. In case you don't know, you can play cards from your hand as attacks, and then if they manage to hit their opponent, they go into your gauge area, which is down here. And the gauge area you can spend in order to like move or power up attacks like these ones. And this one in particular is very powerful, but you have to exceed with the character in order to unlock this card. So the exceed also costs that gauge, which this card is also powered by. His gauge cost is going to be 3, so once he spends 3 gauge, he can exceed, and then he'll unlock this ability. And it will go straight into his hand, and he can use it once he has a 4 gauge to be able to spend. And also, while he's powered up in his exceed form, on hit he's going to get +2 power per 2 gauge. And then on his regular side, on hit he gets +1 power per 3 gauge. So if he builds up a lot of gauge, he can do some extra damage. Alright, we're going to set the Meido Zangetsuha aside. So the rest of his deck, these are all custom cards that I've built. I designed the set based on mechanics from other cards I already had. So his deck is going to be over here. He's going to be playing as the red character. And Baiken. Baiken is ridiculously powerful. She can pay 1 gauge in order to pull 2 without pulling past herself and then strike. So she can bring opponents in pretty quickly and deal some huge damage. And she's got her own deck full of really great cards. Everyone has the same basic cards. There's like 16 basic cards, although for solo I take out one of the block cards. And you'll kind of understand why once I get into how the mode operates. So the way that I start out is each character will draw 1 card and they'll compare speed. Whoever has the higher speed gets to go first. As you can see, Inuyasha here has a 7 speed for his Iron Reaver Soul Stealer, whereas Baiken has a 5 speed for her Slash. So Inuyasha is going to be going first, and in order to remind myself of going first, I put the card up a little bit, and then I put the advantage token on that character. So first player always gets 5 cards, second player always gets 6. So the character with advantage gets to make their action. The character who is not with the advantage is just going to be reacting. If I play an attack as Inuyasha, Baiken's going to just randomly wild swing, which is just drawing cards from the top of the deck until she hits a card that will work. So whatever card will get her in range or that is already in range to Inuyasha, that's the attack that she'll use. So first Inuyasha gets to play an attack. So he's got a lot of good stuff here. He's a range of 4 right now, so we need something that's going to get him in range, or maybe we'll just spend a turn to move. Let's see. I think right now he's just going to play a boost attack, or he's going to play a boost card. So the boost card is the ability on the bottom of every card. You can basically play it, and I usually just slide it under the character to show that it's active. Let's go ahead and play this Swift boost here. So this is +1 speed for his next attack, and then now we get to draw 1 card. So the boost goes right underneath him. It's It's gonna let me draw a card, and then at the end of the turn, if you don't strike, you get to draw another card. Alright, so that's the end of Inuyasha's turn. The advantage now goes to Baiken. Now she gets to choose an attack. So in opening hand, if she draws, or if any character were to draw gauge attacks like this, which are like super attacks, they just get shuffled back into the deck and replaced with the same number. So she'll draw 2 more cards. If she draws a super attack after that point, it's okay. It's just the first hand. I try to make sure that they don't have any supers. Alright, she's got dive, which dive will get her a lot closer. She needs to get at least 3 spaces closer to attack. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. She's gonna play dive. So now Inuyasha's going to wild swing until he gets a card that will work. Okay, so we need something that's gonna get him in range of 3. He has +1 speed. So we just draw until a card comes up. Okay, so we have a Dragon Twister. This has a range of 3 to 6, which is perfect. This card is going to get shuffled back into the deck. Anything that wasn't used gets shuffled back in. So he's got Dragon Twister. He has to choose 2 cards to discard, or he has to spend gauge. Let's see. I think he's going to be advancing 3 afterwards, so he's going to be in good range. However, if you look at the speed, his speed is 3 versus her speed is 4. Whoever ties gets to go first. He has the +1 speed here, which means his speed is 4, but again, because they're tying, Baiken's going to get to go first. So considering that, we want to figure out what cards to keep in the hand. I think he'll discard the lunge and focus cards. So those get discarded. And now the attacks will trigger. So her speed is first, and then his speed is last. So usually whoever is going last, I put their card below like this center lane, and then Baiken's attack will now go off. So range of 1, but she advances 3. So 1, 2, 3. Now she's going to hit for 5. So we start at 30. So he's going to take 5 damage. So he's down to 25. He has 4 guard, but unfortunately her 5 power is going to break that. So this attack is just going to get discarded. Alright, so because she hit, she gets to take the dive into her gauge area. This card is unfortunately just getting discarded. And then so is the boost. Now, she didn't gain advantage from the dive. So advantage now goes to Ian. Okay, so I think we're going to go for the Blades of Blood. This has a 2 to 3 range with 4 power and 4 speed. And before, he's going to retreat up to 2 spaces. So we're going to go ahead and play the Blades of Blood. Baiken is going to draw cards, and here we go. So she got a 1 range with 5 power and 4 speed, the Karateka. So she's going to play this one. That's a name's a little hard to pronounce. Karatakewari. Difficult. Okay. Anyway, so 4 speed, 4 speed. Inuyasha's attack is going to go first. So he gets to retreat up to 2 spaces. I think he'll retreat just 1. And he's still in range because it's 2 spaces away. So now he's going to hit for a power of 4 to Baiken. So she's down to 26. Her attack is not going to go off because she has no guard. But Inuyasha does get to push up to 2 spaces. So he'll push 1, and then he gets to draw a card. So this is going to go into his gauge area. Baiken's attack did not go off, so it gets discarded. And then he didn't gain advantage from this attack, so... Alright, now she has 1 gauge, so she can't use this card yet, because it needs 2 gauge to power. But she's within 3 spaces. So I think... Okay, she's gonna go for this this attack right here. Tatami Gaeshi. Has a range of 1 to 3 with 4 power, 4 speed, 1 armor, and 4 guard. Alright, so let's see what Inuyasha pulls. He's got focus. He needs to be at least within 3 range in order to do anything, though. Here we go. So this Adamant Barrage, it costs 1 force, and it's going to let him close 2 beforehand. This has 1 range, 5 power, 3 speed, and 5 guard. Alright, so the attacks, we compare 4 speed versus 3. So Baiken's attack is going to go first. 1 to 3 range, he's within 3 spaces. She's going to do 4 damage, so he's down to 21. And she's going to push him 1, and then she'll draw 1. She's also going to close 2 after. So she moves in 2 spaces. So he has a guard of 5, so his attack will still go off. It's a range of 1, but he gets to close first, and he's going to deal 5 damage. She has 1 guard, so he's only going to deal 4 damage instead. So she's down to 22. And then he gets to push her 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3. Alright, and that is the end of that attack. So this goes to his gauge. This goes to Baiken's gauge. And she didn't gain advantage, so it's going back to Inuyasha. Now he's got 2 gauge right now. If he gets 1 more, he can gain +1 power to his attacks. So he needs a 4 range attack. Let's see. He doesn't have anything 4 range. I think he's going to use the boost effect on this flying punch, this last second block. It gives him +4 guard, and then he adds this to his gauge if he isn't stunned. So he's just going to stick that right down there. He didn't attack, so he's going to draw a card. Then it goes back to Baiken. So Baiken, she has this gauge action. She can pull 2 without pulling past herself. That could get him into range for one of her attacks. Ooh, actually, this might be good. So this Kenju attack requires 2 gauge. She'll go ahead and she's going to play this one. It has a range of 2 to 5 with power 3 and 6 speed. And on a hit, she gains advantage, which is great. So she's going to play that. Inuyasha will now Wild Swing. So he doesn't have enough for that one, the Backlash Wave. 2 spaces. Nope, that's not going to be enough. Wind Scar. Okay, so this one you can do. So this is an attack of range 2 to 4. It's got 5 power and 4 speed. So let's see what happens. Okay, so he has to pay 1 force to be able to use this attack. He's going to discard his block card. That's one reason I keep at least 1 block card in here. Sometimes they pull it on a Wild Swing, which is fun because it's just like, it feels like they're kind of reading the attack and they're going to block it and like try to stop you from doing anything. But it's also good for using for discarding for force. So we've got the Wind Scar here with a speed of 4. Baiken has a speed of 6. She has to discard 2 gauge in order to power the attack. And then definitely within range, 4 spaces away. She's going to hit for 3. So 1, 2, 3, he's down to 18. Unfortunately, he has no guard. Oh, he has the 4 guard. Okay, no, he's alright. So the 4 guard means that his attack will still go through. Baiken, though, is going to close 2. So 2 spaces, close. And she gains advantage, so she's going to keep the advantage for the next round. Now, this is pretty cool. So Inuyasha, because his attack is still going to go off, he has an ability here. On hit, if he's at range 2, he gets +2 power, and he's exactly 2 spaces away. And then he's going to draw a card and gain advantage. So he's actually going to steal the advantage. Whoever takes advantage last, based on the card plays, gets to go first the next round. So his attack, 5, +2 is going to be 7, so she's going to take 7 damage. So that's 2, and then down to 15. So that was a big attack for Inuyasha. Now the cool thing is, he's going to gain advantage, he's going to draw a card, and he's also going to be able to add both cards to his gauge, because the last second block allows him to, and then this card went off. Right, so these are both going to go in the gauge. So he has 4 gauge now, which is great. Her attack also went off, so it's going to go in the gauge. Inuyasha got advantage last, so he's playing first this round. He's going to exceed for 3, so he spends 3 gauge and exceeds for his turn. That means he's going to get the Meido Zengatsuha in his hand, and he's also going to draw 1 because he didn't strike this turn. So he's got 1 gauge left. It's going to take 4 gauge to power this super attack, which is super powerful. It has 1 to 4 range, 6 power, 4 speed, and 6 guard, and it ignores armor. And then on hit, he gets to draw 3 and then discard 2 cards from the hand. And then he gets +2 power per gauge remaining after using this. So you can build up a lot of gauge and use this at the right time. That could be game ending basically. Alright, so his turn is over, and now it's going to be Baiken's turn. I think, let's see. So he's at 2 range, which is great. Thinking she might use Slash. Yeah, she'll go ahead and play Slash. So now Inuyasha's gonna Wild Swing. He got a lunge, which is perfect. Okay, so it's 5 speed versus 5 speed. Baiken's wins because she has the advantage for this round. Now Slash lets her close before the attack, and then she's gonna deal 4 damage. So he's down to 14. This card unfortunately has no guard, so this is just going to get discarded. And she also gains advantage on hit. So this is going to go into her gauge, and she gets to go again. So advantage is super powerful. Oh, here we go. She's going to use this Yozansen. This has a range of 1 to 2, 5 power, and 4 speed. It ignores armor, and then one of the cool things is, if she has 3 or fewer cards in her hand, she gains +2 speed. So she's going to gain +2 speed, her speed will be 6. So Inuyasha's going to draw. He doesn't have the cards for the Backlash wave right now. Windscar, he's out of range, because he's too close, he needs to be at least 2 to 4 spaces. Okay, Rush works. So Rush is a 1 range attack with 3 power and 7 speed. So her speed's only 6 and his is 7, so he's actually going to go first in this attack. So he's dealing 3 damage. Okay, down to 12. And he can push or pull 1 or 2. He'll push her for 2. And hopefully she'll be out of range, which now she is, thankfully. Oh, she has no guards. This attack actually is just going to get discarded. Rush went off, so he's going to put in his gauge, and it's going to be Inuyasha's turn again. So now he's going to get +2 power per 2 gauge. So he's got 2 gauge right now. He needs to build more gauge up. Let's see. But it has guard, and it's got a lot of power, and she's within range. So he's going to use Sweep. She's going to draw 2 to 3. Perfect. So this 2 to 3 dust attack is just in range. It's got 5 power, 3 speed, and 4 guard. He's got 2 speed. Her attack's going to go off first, and her attack ignores armor and guard. So 3 spaces away, she's going to hit for 5 power. So he's down to 9. So that is unfortunate. His attack is going to get canceled out. And she's going to put this into her gauge. Alright, so it's back to Baiken's turn. Oh, here we go. She's going to use this Kabari attack. He's within 3 spaces. 3 power and 5 speed. So let's see what he draws. Flying Punch. 2 to 3. Okay, so that is within range. Now, his speed is 3. Her speed is 5. So she's going to get to go first. So she's dealing 3 damage. So he's down to 6. And then on hit, she's allowed to pull 3 without pulling past herself, which also is going to mean his attack is invalidated. So she's allowed to advance to and gain advantage, otherwise +2 power. She'll go ahead and she'll gain advantage. So 1, 2. Alright, his attack will still go off. but it's only going to deal 5 power, actually 7 power. So she's down to 5. And then he advances 2 spaces. So he's going to end up right against the wall. Alright, so their attacks both went off. She has the advantage, so she's going to go again. She's going to go for this grasp. It's a quick attack, just deals some damage, but it's very high speed. So Inuyasha draws the sweep. Very slow, unfortunately, 2 speed. But he's going to go for it. So she's going to deal 3 damage. He's down to 3. Push or pull 1 or 2. She'll pull him 2. Alright, so Inuyasha has 6 power. Oh, that takes her out. So that is how the solo mode works. I think that it's pretty fun. I've played actually probably 120 games now with this solo system. I love the game, I love the mechanics, and Exceed I think is just a really good system. I think it's super fun. It's really easy to understand once you get to grips with how the cards work. And yeah, it just makes sense. I love the way the map is constructed with these 9 spaces, the boost system, the gauge system, the special attacks, the Exceed. It's all really cool. Alright, anyways, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Take care.